So next, let's go back in our loop method and add in functionality for this. Is okay. We're actually going to do a little bit of coding for this. We're going to add in a level completing. Okay. This level completing function will take over the loop. So this will happen instead of loop when we tell it to. The way we do that is by using the this.levelComplete method. So we'd say this.levelComplete, this.levelCompleting. The level complete method tells it you pass in a function here and it's going to do this function instead of the loop until you say end level complete, or there's other parameters to make it stop. But we don't want that to just happen just like that. So we're going to say if the character is on one of those tiles, the 923 tile, then show level complete. Okay, so let's make a var C tile, or we could call it end tile, makes more sense. I'm going to use the good old blit math class again, and this time we want to know check tile value at this.player.x and this.player.y. Which map we want to check is this.scenechanger.currentMap and 16 by 16. Okay, so at the end of the loop here, we're checking what is the tile that the player is over. Okay, so if end tile, we could say, this is another way we could simply check it. We know that it's 923, so if end tile 0 equals 9, and end tile 1 is 23, then we know he's crossed one of the ending spots, and we'll also return just to make sure. Okay, so that's similar to, that's a manual way this.values match e.tile value. We could have used this.values match, it's doing the same thing. Okay, so if that's the case, it'll run the level completing method instead of the loop method. So inside of level completing then, which is going to run as if it's the loop, we'll say this.call camera. Okay, just to display, that'll cause everything to be displayed again. So what we want to happen initially, we have this in the sprite sheet, level complete right here. We want this box to tween down. We're going to do like a bounce tween down when they hit the end area. Okay, so let's make a tween. I'm going to say level ending tween. Okay, and this is going to have to be a variable up here because we're using it in more than one function. So our le tween, this could just equal null up here. So the level end tween, making tweens is easy. We use tween math and the tween array method. So we want to go from off screen, which is -80. That's the whole height of that level ending square. And 120 is the middle. Okay, so we're going to start at a y of 80 and go to a y of 120, taking about a second to do so. And the tween we want to use is out bounce. Okay. And then to keep track of everything between methods, again, we'll need another property. We'll call it level end time, and it'll be 8,000 to begin with. Okay, so here we'll make sure We'll reset it right here, right before the level ends, to make sure this is 8,000 for the level ending. Okay, so we'll create the tween right as we know the level is ending. What tween array gives us is an array of the numbers that would make up an outbounce tween using the values. So it's going to give from -80 to 120 in an outbounce sequence, taking a second long. That's what we're going to get. And so then we just apply those numbers to whatever we want to tween. And in this case, we're going to tween the Y position of this box coming down to make it tween down. Okay, so now we'll say if that exists and it has length, okay, then we know we got to drop that square down. That's where we know we're at. Okay, so the first thing we want to happen is that. And the game skeleton class has a underscore helper rect, just so that if we need to use a rectangle multiple times or quickly, we can just use that helper rect instead of making a new rectangle every time. So just say helper rect dot x equals 800. Okay, so that's the position where this box is in the sprite sheet. Rect dot y equals 272. The width is 80 and the height is 80. Okay, and there's also a helper point. This dot helper point dot y is the L-tween dot shift. Okay, so we take them out of LE tween, level end tween, and apply it to the y. So therefore tween okay, so the x position of it will stay the same. It'll be at 232 in the middle. Okay, so we're going to use those two things and say this dot camera, and we're just drawing to the camera layer directly, which will be on top of everything, even the car layer. Copy pixels. Okay, copy from the image. Copy from the image from this area, this rectangle area of the image, to this helper point. Okay, so that's where to draw to. So that's why we used helper point and helper rect, just so that this is neat. Let's see that happen. So now what's going to happen is when we reach the end of a level, this will tween down and nothing else will happen. We'll be stuck. We reach the end of a level. It tweened down the wrong thing. What did I put here? Oh, it's not 800. It's 880. Okay. Okay, so let's see that coming down. When we hit the ending brick, it comes down. Okay. It comes down and it goes away. Okay, because call camera that's continually being called is only displaying the last thing that it had from this method, right? From moving the player and the spikes in the background. Okay, so all we've done is draw here. So now let's say if this is over, okay, else, so if there's not a tween dot length, we're going to assume that the reason why is because it ran, and we know that because right before we have this to happen, we've set L tween. So we know that L tween is only there right when at the beginning. So otherwise, that thing has come down. Okay, and so now we want that whole level ending thing to take the 8 seconds, which we know also that we've set this to 8,000. So now if that is greater than 0, let's make sure that that level complete thing is still shown. So we'd say that, just say the same thing over. Copy, paste. Okay. Now what'll happen is it'll tween down, and for 8 seconds it'll show it. Okay, and then it'll still be stuck afterwards, but it should show that longer now for the full 8 seconds. Okay, so now that stays there, and it eventually goes away when L time is less than 0.